Hello, everyone. My name is Snehansh.
And I'm Carissa.
These are the rest of my group. And we are ImmunoTech. So the problem is that 1 in 8 women in their lifetimes do experience breast cancer. And current treatments right now are oftentimes very invasive and even leave a lot of severe psychological and physical damage on their bodies. This affects not only the patients themselves, but also their families that are taking care of them. As you can see, the current treatments oftentimes, like as you can see in these images, do leave a lot of damage. Even if the cancer is cured, oftentimes their women's body images and their self-confidence are severely impacted. This is where our solution comes in.
So our solution was to create a minimally invasive way to attack the cancer tumor. Using a syringe, an injection would be administered directly to the tumor containing tumor-specific, containing antibodies that bind to tumor-specific antigens for breast cancer. And this would cause a reaction with the immune system so that lymphocytes would come to the site of the tumor and eventually eat away at it. This also would eventually train the immune system through the memory T cells to remember the specific antigen and antibody used to treat the breast cancer cell. If breast cancer cells start to grow again, or if a few cells are not marked with the antibodies, the immune system would be able to recognize the cells as a threat and go after them. CD227 and CD326 are the tumor-specific antigens that go after the tumor-specific, they are the antibodies that go after the tumor-specific antigens MUC1 and ETA, which stands for epithelial tumor antigen. And as you can see, these are very inexpensive. So it's appealing to both the patient and insurance companies. For example, a 1 centimeter tumor would cost $90 for antibodies. And that's a huge price difference compared to a lumpectomy, which would cost upwards of $7,000 just for the surgery. So clearly, this innovation would be preferred for the price as well as the cosmetic and immune benefits.
Yeah. To finish up, we are ImmunoTech, a minimally invasive alternative to early breast cancer treatments.
Thank you.
Any questions?
So the antibodies inject. This would assume that you actually have a lesion that was not removed surgically, but let's just say that you've decided to go that way. You're going to inject your antibody. The antibody diffuses away from the primer, binds to the primary lesion, but you also have migratory cells, invasive cells in other parts of the body where the antibody is not there to drive this cytotoxic recruitment of cytotoxicity dependent on antibody binding through macrophages and T cells. So you're assuming that you're going to get an immune response that's going to be long lasting. What do you think of that? Why hasn't this been already done?
So one of the reasons, so our technology isn't necessarily meant to replace any of these treatments. It's just to provide an alternative in early breast cancer treatments. So maybe you can avoid, having surgically remove your entire breast. So chemotherapy and
Radiation.
radiation, will still be used to target those migratory or tougher to get tumor cells that you're referring to.
Ideally, this would be for cells in the size range of 1 millimeter up to 5 centimeters.
Essentially to reduce the initial size of the main tumor so that other options that were previously unavailable could be now open.
What are some of the products that are on the market currently that this would be like?
So there are immunotherapy options out there. They aren't as much widely used, mainly because there's a problem of, like he mentioned, of them actually reaching the tumor. So that's how we're solving this by directly injecting our antibodies right to where the tumor is, because right now they're IV injected or given a shot into the spinal fluid.
So you're making the assumption here that every patient's tumors are expressing the same antigens, and that there is not typically breast tumors are heterogeneous in that sense. And in addition to that, the immune system of the patient also plays a role, and whether or not that immune system is intact to really go in and hone in on that tumor itself. So how do you plan to overcome that?
So one of the ways we're trying to overcome this is to not just use one antibody, but a multitude, and also to use this product in conjunction with other forms of treatment.